Alright, so we're revisiting this Razer Blade 15. This is the rz09-0409. It actually has a bad fan. So we removed all the screws already. These are T5 Torx 5 screws. As you saw, I grabbed here on this rubber piece and then I just pulled it up, and then you gotta wiggle it because there's a little clip there, so you kind of just wiggle to pull it out. We'll set that aside. That's in case you didn't already see this. Alright, so the fan, it seems okay, but if I spin it fast enough, I don't know if it's gonna come out in the video, but if I spin it fast enough, I don't know if you can hear that crackling sound. You hear that? Okay, so it's making some crackling sounds. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna try and pull the propeller blades out and then add some grease. Hopefully that will fix it. It does sound like the bearings or something are bad, so we're gonna have to be careful. Anyways, just to be safe, we're gonna disconnect the battery here. So I'm gonna get under here and just pull that up. Alright, after doing that, I'm going to carefully open up the laptop, and I'm going to press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This makes it a lot safer to work on. If you're careful and you don't drop anything on the motherboard or nothing happens, then you should actually be okay doing this process without doing this power drain. I believe the battery... oh, never mind. It has its own separate CMOS battery. I forgot. Alright, anyways, we did a power drain so that way these capacitors and stuff hopefully won't have enough power to cause any damage. Alright, so to do what we're going to do, we're going to need a Razer blade, and then we're going to also have to tape these things back on. So using this method, we're not going to have to undo any screws other than just that bottom cover. But basically this fan is held in with these plastic things that are here, these raised bumps. So we're going to use this Razer blade to cut those bumps off. Okay, so we're just going to slice it off like this. You do want to have it slightly facing down at an angle when you cut, not too much of an angle, but just enough to kind of help it continue sliding across. Otherwise it might not cut far enough down. Alright, so we're going to do that with all these little raised bumps, and you want to be careful with all the components around. Also, doing this, you might scrape up a little bit of the paint, so don't worry about that. It'll just be cosmetic, but be careful. You want to try and avoid that if you can. All right, so we're going to now cut this one over here. Okay, it's a little bit weird because I'm cutting now at a weird sideways angle, but just do that. Okay, I might not have angled it down far enough here. Yeah, so some of it's sticking up, so there we go. Cut that off. Alright, we're going to get the other one over here as well. Alright. And then we got this one. I don't know if we need to cut this. We'll see. There's a rubber thing here. If we do, we're going to have to move that out of the way first. Be careful with the cables that are around it. You don't want to accidentally cut those. Okay. So doing this, if this works, we actually won't even need to unplug the fan or anything. Okay, so we got all those pieces except that one, if that's one. Let's see if we can lift this off. Oh, okay, so that's just rubber. Okay, I thought there was a bit of plastic on this side as well, but nope. Alright, so we got that out. You can see underneath here, you can clean that up a little bit if you want. Okay, so we have the propellers here, and we'll have to see if we can pull that out. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to brush in here to try and clean up any dust remaining that's caught in there, if there's any. Doesn't look like there's much. Alright, next thing we're going to do, in order to pull this out without having to pull the whole thing out, you're going to want a good set of pliers. It's going to have like these sideways teeth here, okay, so that way it can grip. And you want to adjust it to where it's kind of close to the size of the center, this piece, okay? So here you can see, okay? And what we're going to do, we're going to just grab this, okay? You want to make sure you grab it centered, and we're going to have to pull it straight up. So I'm going to grab here, and I'm going to pull it straight up. And it seems like it's holding really strong, so I don't know if we're going to be able to get this out or not. Right now it's not making the crackly sound. Let's see. Nope, it's still doing it. Okay, so we are going to have to somehow remove that completely. So let's go ahead and see. Hopefully that will be possible. Give me a second, I just got a message I need to respond to. All right, let's go ahead and continue seeing if we can pull this up. You don't want to grip it too hard, you just want to grip it enough to hold it, because if you squeeze too hard, and then you can crush this ring. So that's why I kind of adjusted it to be about the exact size we need. All right, and let's go ahead and try and pull straight up again. Wow, okay, so it popped up, but it feels like, okay, it did pop out nicely. So it popped out nicely. My worry was that it would rip out the bearing in here as well, but it looks like it pulled up just the fan propeller, so that's good. We're gonna brush up any dust that's left in here. Okay, and then blow that dust away. Okay, next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna use, you can use a needle or a folded out paper clip, but first let me clean this off. Okay, I'm gonna just use a paper towel, grab that and clean that out. Okay, here you can see some grease that was in there. I don't know why there's some food or something caught in this, so I'm gonna use a small flathead screwdriver just to scrape that gunk out. Okay, so let's go ahead and scrape that thing out here. I don't know. Actually, it's on. Huh. Is that supposed to be in there? Because there's some here as well. That's very weird. Did they do that to balance it, or maybe that's meant to balance the weight of the fan? I don't know. It looks somewhat intentional. Maybe it's there to balance the fan. Let's see. I don't know. It spins okay. All right, so we're gonna have to add some grease. I'm gonna leave those there because it's very solid. I don't see how it would have gotten in there unless it was meant to be in there, because it does look like it was put in there on purpose. All right, so next thing we're gonna do, give me a second, I need to respond to some more messages. All right, give me a second. All right, I'm back. So let's go ahead and get to the part where we grease it up. So again, you can use like a folded out paper clip or something. All right, and what I use is this 5W30 synthetic motor oil. You can use whatever. I just use this because I used to have a car that needed oil and now I don't, so I have all this oil and nothing to use it on. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this oil. Also, it works really well, and we're just gonna drip it into the center hole here. All right, so far with all the stuff I've fixed with this oil method, maybe I've had like one that went bad, but after like more than 2 years or something. So yeah, the oil works really well. All right, so we're gonna spin it around. I didn't push the fan blade all the way back in. It does if I didn't show it, huh? Okay, let me pull this back out and show you guys this again. So the post of the fan actually has a little notch in it right there at the end, and that's how it grips in to get stuck in there. So that's why I didn't push it all the way down, because I didn't want it to get stuck. All right, so we're gonna try and clean up this again. Get out the old grease. All right, then we're gonna put it one more time. It didn't look too bad, so hopefully just putting a little grease in it will be good enough. All right, and get some more grease in there. Get that down into the shaft. Make sure it's not going into the top. I'm gonna have to clean that off because it did flow up and over. Oops, let me zoom in a bit more. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, there we go. Let's zoom back in more. Clean the oil off from the top of that, because the top doesn't need the oil. All right, and now we should be able to just snap this back in. You do want to be careful because these fan propeller blades are a little fragile. They're super thin. Okay, so we're gonna get this line back up. And be careful also that you're not damaging the copper windings. Okay, so we got that. We're gonna now click it in. All right, and you can see we're good. It spins around just fine. All right, and let's see if we blow it now, if it's gonna still have that grinding issue. It's way better now. There's no... Yeah, the old one's fine. I mean, the GPU fan's fine. The CPU fan, this one, is the only one that was having that issue. And as you can see, it's good now. All right, so what we got to do now is we have to secure this down, because you don't want this just falling out and then rolling around inside the computer. It's metal. It can conduct electricity, and it can damage things. So we're going to use some tape to do that. Some people worry that the tape is going to get hot. You don't have to worry. The heat is all right in the heatsink here, okay? So the way heat sinks work, they pull all the heat here. Though this is a little bit close to the heat sink, but all the heat is concentrated here. So as long as you have some tape running around down here and around this side, you should be fine. Likely over here it's going to get kind of warm. I don't know if it's going to affect it, but it shouldn't. It should be okay. All right. If you're worried about it, actually what I can do, instead of using regular tape, normally I just use regular packaging tape, but since in this case, since it's kind of close to this, let's go ahead and get some Kapton tape. I have some, this is basically like electrical tape, but for high temperature stuff situations, okay? So I have this thinner one, and then I also have some thicker ones, but we're just going to use the thin one. It should be good enough, and we're just going to cut little pieces, stick it on here, and then wrap it over the edge, and that should be good. All right, so let me see. Give me a second. I'm getting more messages. All right, let's get the tape on. Okay, so find the end. Where'd it go? Okay, here we go, and we're just gonna pull some of this and tape it on. All right, I might have to use the thicker ones because I don't know if this is gonna hold strong enough. Let's see. Cut a piece here. Okay, and we'll basically just wrap it over like this, stick it on. Stick it on there, and then just wrap it over. And you can use, you're gonna have to use something to help push it into place here. Oh, I moved my little pokey tool. Well, we can use this one. Alright, make sure this is all lined up, and stick it down. Alright. After this is done, I'm going to test it by pulling up on it and seeing if it holds up well. Okay. Alright. Let's go ahead and peel this up. You can actually peel a lot of this and then just cut it to multiple little strips and stick it all along. The magnet on my thing is too strong now. Alright. I'm going to cut a piece here. Alright. Sorry. You can fast forward over this if you're bored. I mean, it's pretty straightforward what's going on. We're just wrapping tape around to... Did I put that upside down? Just wrapping tape around the fan to hold it in place. Okay. I just lost the whole thing. Where'd it go? Okay. Yeah. Let me actually use the thicker strand because I feel this one's a little bit thin, but the other ones might be too thick. So let's see. We'll see if it wraps around or not. Oh, there's the piece. I just dropped the rest of it. Let me use the rest of this first. Okay, let's use some thicker pieces here, especially for this one. I can actually use like probably a full-size piece here. Yep, let's go ahead and use this thicker one. This is about, I believe it's a 1-inch width. Okay. And we're just gonna stick that on. Oh, maybe I can't use that because the rubber thing's in the way, so I'm gonna cut it in half. There we go. And we'll stick a piece here, like this. Probably need to use my thin metal tool to get down in there. Just wrap that around there. Perfect. Then I've got this one. There. Okay, wrap that in there. Alright, this is kind of, we're putting like way more than necessary. It's probably already going to hold really well. I do want to put a little bit more here, and then, yeah, but we have it like where the plastic parts are already, so that should be good. But let's set this aside. Let's try the slightly thicker one. I'll put one more over here, since the tape likely won't hold as strong as the melted plastic, but it's not like anything's yanking on it inside the computer, so it shouldn't really be an issue, to be honest. Okay. Stick that on and push that down. Alright, and then we do need some over here, so let's at least put one more. And then I'm gonna basically lift up the laptop just using that, and if that holds, we should be good. Alright. Okay, let's get this last piece on there. Oh, that I cut way too much. Let's see. And I'm not going to be able to wrap it around the wireless antennas. Actually, yeah. Okay. So there we go. Now, we got it all taped up. I'm going to just grab this, and you can see I can lift the whole laptop just by the tape there. This one did peel up a little bit, so make sure that stays. Oh, this one I might need to replace. I think I got grease on it. Okay. Let's go ahead now. Cut one more piece here. Will this one fit? Yeah, it will. So we can use the thicker one. Get a better grip. Oh, is there like grease on it? Oh, the grease from the thermal paste. It's preventing it from sticking, this oily stuff there. So I don't know if this is it gonna hold? Yeah, okay, it's holding. All right, let's go ahead and push that back down. Make sure it's stuck well. All right, there we go. All that's left to do is reassemble this thing, and we should be good to go. All right. I'll actually test it real quick by blowing it again. All right. Yep, it's good. No more crackling, grinding sound. All right, so there we go. And then now for the simple part of just putting the bottom cover back on. We do need the T5 Torx 5 screwdriver again. All right, and then let's get the bottom cover on. Okay. That. Get this. You want to put the back side in first. Keep the front up at an angle. Okay, And then make sure this goes in. Alright, and you'll know it's in because if you try and lift here, you can actually lift the laptop with the cover. Alright. Okay, let's get all these screws back in and we should be good to go. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade or repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as... Oh, I almost forgot again. That's just... I always do that. Okay, on these models. So don't forget, I don't know if you caught it, but don't forget to plug the battery back in. Okay. Click that back into place. I did have to pull it down slightly with my thumb. And then, yeah, anyways, let's get this back in now. Hopefully the last time. Alright, again, make sure that the back is clipped in well. That's the only part that actually clips and latches. The rest of this cover, it comes off very easily. And I actually like that design a lot. Razer did a nice job with that. Alright. Let's get all these screws, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, it would help a lot if you can watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on them as well. Alright. And also, it won't just help me, but it'll help you in the future if you ever decide to open up or work on other computers. Okay. Oh, and one other thing, if you didn't want to use tape, you could use a glue, technically, to hold that thing in place. But if you use a glue, make sure it's a glue that's going to hold really well. I don't like to use glue because if I ever need to take it apart again to fix it, then you're going to be stuck. Unless you use like just a small amount to where you can actually break the glue later. But yeah. Alright, last 3 screws. And then we'll power it up, make sure everything's good. And that should be it. Last screw. There we go. Make sure the screws are in all the way. Yep. Alright, let's flip this over and power it up. And we should be good to go. Alright, keyboard's lighting up green. And there we go, we got the Razer stuff. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.